Hi, welcome, welcome. I'm so happy you've joined me today for our Facebook Live. I am Kelley Pitts, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Lubbock, Texas. I've been a demonstrator since 2005. So I'm so glad you've tuned in. We're going to do some paper pumpkin alternatives today. So even if you don't have a paper pumpkin kit, I think there are refills still left. I meant to check right before we went on the air today and didn't get a chance, but hope you will come up with some ideas from what I've done today. Even if you don't have a kit, you can make something with hearts. Everybody can cut out a heart and make a card, right? And that's what makes them special, is that they are handmade. So I love being part of a paper crafting community who enjoys making and sending handmade cards, because it just gives joy to the giver and to the receiver. So that's what it's all about. We all want to have a little fun in life and some enjoyment. So hope you enjoy crafting with me today. I'll show you two or three, I think I'm going to show you 3 paper pumpkin alternatives. We'll probably just make one from scratch and the other 2 kind of do a couple of little tweaks to, because I already have the outline done. So hi Eileen, I'm so glad you've joined. Glad you're one of those with the paper pumpkin kit. I know you worked on some alternatives of your own, but hopefully if you haven't finished the kit, you may try one of the ones that we are doing today. So glad you've tuned in, Eileen, and I'm going to show you one of them real quickly that I do have finished. Hello, Barbara Roach. I'm so glad you tuned in. My sister-in-law, great to see you. Great to see you. Here's the card we're going to make today, one of them. And it's a cute little heart card. The Stampin' Up! Design of Paper Pumpkin this month was really cute as it was, but I have changed up the fold. I saw Rachel Tessman, I believe, do the fold a little bit different way. So I'm going to show you how to do this. If I can't see where I am. But we'll make this one and a couple of more. But Valentine's cards don't have to be for your spouse. They can be for anyone in your family you love or friends that you love. There's a lot of different kinds of love. So February is kind of the month of love. So this is one of the cards we'll be doing. Like I said, I'll show you how to do it with the kit. And then I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera down in just a sec. We are talking about our paper pumpkin kit, which is a monthly craft kit you get in the mail. It's a surprise each month. You don't know exactly what you're going to get. They have been giving us pretty good teasers on what it's going to be, but you get full instructions, full color instructions in your kit each month, and it's just about $22 or so, 22, 23, somewhere in there each month for the kit. And it comes with the full color instructions, as you see. It comes with a stamp set, a little spot, and all the supplies that you need to make whatever's in the kit. And usually that is cards. It's not always. Sometimes it can be some kind of treat bag or treat box. And this month's kit, called Kisses and Hugs, also has some treat boxes that you can order separately. So if you haven't done all your Valentine stuff, or if you've got a wedding or anniversary or anything like that coming up, or maybe you're doing a shower where you could use the X's and O's, the hugs and kisses on something, that would be great too. So I will turn the camera down and we will get started on this first card. I'm excited that you've joined me today, and I finally have figured out how to download these Facebook Lives to YouTube. So now all the videos will also be available on YouTube for those of you who don't do Facebook. And I would love for you to share my video. If you know anybody who's crafty or somebody you think might be interested, please just hit that share button and they can watch today too. All right, I'm going to turn the camera down. Be patient with me as I do my little switcheroo. Thanks. Alrighty, I'm turning it. We'll see if it responds to my fingertips again. You know, I've been having a little trouble with that. Hit that button, hit that button. We should be right, but we shall see. It takes a few seconds there because there's a delay between when I see something and when you see it. So kind of looking on my phone and computer. I've got to get my little comments going on my computer. Let me get all of that set, and I will be right with you. Here's the card we're going to be making. A cute little fold out. Looks like my camera is kind of wonker-jawed. Do y'all say wonker-jawed, wompy-jawed? I've heard a lot of different ways to say that. There we go. Now I can see what's on the video. Let me get that on my iPad also, where I can see comments. And we will get going. I hope y'all are having good weather. It sure has been nicer here than it was earlier. We have had some cold spells here in Texas, in lots of places in Texas, I know. So let me, well, if I can get my news feed here on my iPad. Sorry, it's just impossible to do this ahead of time. I get it close, but then you have to refresh it, so let's see here. There we go. Let's see if we can get to that event. Posts. Because I want to make sure I see all your comments. I'd love to have you comment when you're on, so I know where you're from and who's joining me. Whoops. Alrighty. I think we're almost ready. Yay! Okay, here we go. This is the card I thought of would be really nice just for any friend, just to show you that cards don't have to be just for sweethearts or spouse if you don't happen to have one of those. And I think this is just too fun. So I'm hoping you agree. But it folds up just like this and goes in a regular size envelope. And I would recommend, well, you could do this. Yeah, this one's white, so just our regular basic white envelopes would work great for this. You just kind of have to put it in a little bit sideways for it to fit properly. All right, I'll show you what came in the kit, and then we'll attempt to make one like my sample. The kit had this card, and it just showed it folding this way, which is what we're going to do on our next card. We actually had 2 designs in the kit, 2 different colors of paper, 2 designs, and you could make 5 of each out of that kit. So on this one, I wanted to show you how I did this special fold. We're going to get out our little Stampin' Trimmer. Whoops, my heart hung up there. Here we go. We are going to, and I recommend doing it from the back, to do your scoring from the back. And if you'll line it up along the little score line or cut line right here, kind of get your point at the right spot, try to get this right in the middle. And I'm pushing it up where this tops of the heart are against the top of the scoreboard. That helps me keep it straight. And I do probably 4 times on that. Go back and forth 4 times. Make sure you got a good score there. And you're using the light colored blade, which is your score blade. The dark blade is your cutting blade. Okay, we'll get that out of the way. And like I said, Rachel Tessman did some folds like this. It's a totally different card design that I'm using of my own, but I used her fold. So if you will be really careful when you fold this over and try to line this heart up exactly, it will help. And I really wouldn't go too deep with the bone folder yet on either side. And just wait and make sure they're going to meet in the middle properly. So I'm kind of folding it, but I'm not folding it really hard and creasing it yet. Till I see, you'll see what I mean here. See, there's a tiny gap there. So if we can move that a little bit, we will. And then use your bone folder. And I'm so glad my sister-in-law joined today. That's great to have her here. Now, see, it meets a little better in the middle. There we go. Now, I have taken the vellum heart that comes in the kit. And on this design, I used, this is called the Dotty Hearts embossing folder. Well, there are actually 2 in the set, and it's item number 155434, and they are in the annual catalog. But you get 2 different designs, and I'm going to show you both of those. The first one I did, the initial card, had one design, and then now we're going to try a little bit different design. If I can find my other part of this, hang on just a sec. See what I did with it when I pulled everything out. I know I have one. And I stuck with the Blushing Bride. I was not crazy about the combination of Blushing Bride and Flirty Flamingo together. So I kind of stuck with a little bit more subtle theme and chose to do that instead of the putting Flamingo with the Blushing Bride. I used Flamingo on the other card that you'll see shortly. Let's see, where did my heart go? Hang on a second here. I have a whole kit that's supposed to have all my extra stuff in it. And I am missing that little heart. Let's look. Did it hide under here? Did y'all see it hide? Well, first, I'm going to show you what I did on the center here with this heart, because that did not come in the kit. I decided I wanted a white. Oop, now I found my little Blushing Bride one. I knew I had it. But you can see the difference in the Dotty Hearts. Let's show you up close. They're the 2 Dotty Hearts folders. Here's one, and here's the other. So they're both cute. We'll see what the difference looks like on a finished card. And what I did with the white piece of paper, I actually started by taking this, any of these hearts, they're about the same size, but you just go around, and I'd probably go on the back just in case you get a pencil somewhere else. But just go around and trace it with a pencil like that. And I used cardstock so that I could use it as a template, but I used some that's been retired so that you're not wasting one. So I took that, cut that out. Y'all know how to fussy cut. And then I scored it in the middle, and then I folded it in half like that. And I just took I left about a ½ inch. I just freehanded that ½ inch, just cut that out, ended up with this. Then I took that and traced it onto the white piece of paper. And that way I've got a template. I'm gonna keep this smaller one just in case. I'll probably make a template with the big hearts from the Paper Pumpkin kit also. But here's that the little one that I cut out, that's my template. And then I'll show you how easy it is just to fussy cut a heart. We didn't do all the steps, we're just doing this one real quickly. And if you'll use your scissors and just pivot from the point on the scissors, instead of moving the scissors, if you'll move the paper and kind of pivot around the scissors, seems to work better for me that way. And I've been doing it a lot of years. I have actually been a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Lubbock since 2005. And I can have customers all across the United States, which is wonderful. We don't have territories with Stampin' Up! We're able to sell to anybody in the whole US of A, which is awesome. All right, then I'm going to flip it over, I think, and you can kind of go along it with your fingernail. Whoops, I didn't get my lotion on my hands, or my fingernails painted again before I went on the air, just realizing. It's more fun to do cards than mess with your own nails, right? And you can just trim that up and make it smooth if you've got some kind of rough edges. And then also on this one, the original one. You can tell that that's a little bit of pink on the side, and that helps with those rougher edges. We're going to use the Blushing Bride stamp pad. Take one of our blending brushes, or blender brushes. I'm just going to grab a scratch piece of paper. Oh well, we'll just use this. It'll be fine. And just kind of go along the edges. If you'll tap on your stamp pad, and then always stamp off first. Use the brush off of the paper first, and that keeps you from making a mess. Because it'll be splotchy if you go right directly onto your paper. And I've found that circular motions work the best when you're doing this. So just something really subtle. If you want a little more on the edges, you could use a sponge dauber. You can use your blender brush just on the edges like that. Where you get a little more color on the edge, kind of whatever look you're going for. And this, as I said, is the Blushing Bride. And our blending brushes come, I think, 5 in a packet. Those are in the annual catalog also. All right, we have that one ready. Now we'll stamp our little greeting. And I thought that this would be fun to do also for a baby card. So I think what I'm going to do is do congratulations on the inside, and then we're going to do hello baby on the front. If I brought those in here, I may not have. Let's see here what I did. All right. Yep, I've got that. We're going to mount. This is from the Peaceful Moments set. That's where the Thinking of You with All My Heart came from. And also where the congratulations came from. I'm going to, instead of doing another one exactly like this, I'll change it up a little bit for y'all. So you see a little variety. We're just going to take the congratulations, and I'm going to stamp that on here. I haven't stamped with this stamp in a while, so I always like to kind of give it a practice run on my stamp pad. This is our Stampin' Pierce mat, and I just have a grid paper on it. Okay, we're going to move this congratulations over a little bit, stamp straight down, straight up. And it's very subtle, but it matches. If you go with the color any darker, it's not quite the same pink. So I really was kind of concerned initially that this would not be as dark, or dark enough to really read, if you know what I mean. But I think it works well with this very subtle paper. Just pinched myself with the stamp case there. Okay, we'll put this back up in our Peaceful Moments. And get this out of the way. And I've got a little heart here. This is the one that's going to go on the front. And a lot of times it is easier to stamp it within when you've still got it in the little die cut. The full piece with the die cut's not punched out yet, if that makes sense. And we'll just do the hello baby right in the center. And then I may do some extra little hearts around that. Let's see if this one's going to fit. It may not fit. Nope. All right, well, we're going to stick with that one for now. This is the stamp set that came in the kit. I don't think I showed you that earlier. It has love you, for you, friend, sending you love, more, so that you could say love you more if you want. A lot of people seem to say that. And then you've got your X's and O's and a couple of hearts and some little dots to sprinkle around. So that's kind of fun. we can get this off. And we'll add a little heart here. Let's see. Well, I'm missing one little set. Well, we'll just make do with this one and pretend. I do have a larger heart from another set that would be pretty stamped on there. But right now we're just going to go with this one because I just kind of wanted to show you a little bit different look. You don't have to totally finish it. Okay, we're going to keep this one here. I'll move my little stamp pad out of the way. Now we'll get our silicone mat out to glue with and move this over. And I'll show you how to do the rest of this. Let's see. We're going to... Now that we've got that stamped, and I do recommend stamping first before you put it on the fold. I did make it work on the other one, but it was a little tricky. So we're going to use our liquid glue. You could use whatever your favorite liquid glue is. Stampin' Up! Has a Tombow glue, but I really like transferring it to a smaller bottle so that it's with a finer tip. It's a little easier to use. Let's see if we've got this. You could also use stamping seal to adhere this. And you only want to put it on the one side. Just make sure before you put it down that you're stamping with the right side. Here we go. Just kind of did that in the middle. And I had a gold heart also earlier. Let's find it. Here we go. And I popped that one up on dimensionals. And it can go, you can put dimensionals, probably 2 or 3 is plenty for that. If you want it to stay popped up, probably 3 is good. Because we all have packs and packs of these, right? Nobody hoards their dimensionals like they do designer series paper, I'm thinking. Okay, there's that. That's how easy that was. Then we'll take the centerpiece and glue it. And the entire heart can be glued. Just glue it on the back. You can use Stampin' Seal or your favorite liquid glue, whatever works for you. Now we've got that nice little subtle bit on there. And this die is from the Sweet Hearts collection that I thought I brought in here, the Sweet Talk Sweet. And I have already done all the die cutting. It has stamps and dies to go with it. So I think this gold really ties that in so that you have the gold and the Blushing Bride on all 3 panels. And you certainly carry the heart theme through. This is easier if you do your adhesive sheets first, because you don't really want this foil getting the glue on it, because sometimes that shows. It shows that you've kind of smeared it. So carefully and frugally add your glue. And then just carefully lay it where you want it and try not to move it. Just tap it down and it shouldn't ooze out and get on the front. So easy peasy. Now we're going to take the vellum and I'm just going to attach the pink to it first. I'm going to use dimensionals on it. And again, we're going to just put dimensionals on this side. So I'm going to cover up this side with my hands. My very dry, wrinkly hands. I need to drink some water, don't I? Been a little busy this morning getting ready for this. I had a class this weekend with the paper pumpkin alternatives, but initially I was going to do it. It's scheduled for next weekend, but since that was too close to Valentine's, I just quickly put it together and had a couple of folks come and one come over Zoom. So if y'all decide you wanted to be a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, I'm happy to give you all of that information. In fact, I've got the sign up right here. It is a really fun fun craft kit, and I'll do alternatives each month. Usually the same Sunday of the month, but sometimes it varies just depending on when people get their kits and when the holiday is. That it's pretty seasonal, kind of goes along with whatever the upcoming holiday is. So I'm going to try to line that up with, get an even amount of spacing all over, and then also line this up. I'm looking through here to kind of see where the white is, to kind of try to get that even. Okay. Now, you saw what I did on the vellum. I didn't put any glue back here because it would show through the vellum. I just put it behind where it's going to be covered up. And now, hopefully this will interlock like my other one did. Let's see. No, that's why I didn't put the... I knew there was some reason I only put two dimensionals on that last one. Couldn't think of what that would be. But now I know. This way, it will overlap the front like that. There we go. And when you send it, whoops, let's get this straight again. All right, we're going to get that straight, and then I'm going to flip it over and do the bone folder again on the back. And then again here. And here. Making sure we get all these creases properly. Okay. I think that's it. How simple is that? And it's a really pretty card. You could take, and if you had you could use a sponge dauber with some gold ink. We used to have some gold metallic ink. Or you could use white. You could sand it a little bit, whatever you wanted to do. But I just think that's really pretty, and it's really a fun fold. Hopefully y'all agree. And you could put another little gold heart in the middle if you wanted. This came out whenever you use the die cuts from the Sweet Talk Suite. These hearts come out, so you get 2 for 1. You get to use the negative space and the positive space with those. All right. So if we wanted to do another little card on the front, another little heart, you could, but I kind of like just this and that one. So we'll leave that for now. Sorry, my little stuff got messed up there. Okay, so now I'll show you the next card. Here are those two together. Both versions. Which of the two do you like better here? In fact, since this is the paper pumpkin paper, which is not as high quality as our standard cardstock. Our standard cardstock is colored all the way through, which is what kind of shows that it is such a high quality. But in this case, it works out that if you sand a little bit on here, you can bring out the white that's actually the core of the paper. So usually you don't want that. For most techniques, you don't want the white showing. But in this case, it works out great that it is. So that's why I used the hearts that were in the kit. If you did this and cut your own Blushing Bride hearts, you wouldn't get this same white coming through. But it would be a thicker quality cardstock. So just kind of give and take there. But there are the two cards. Which one do y'all like best? You might tell me in the comments if you like this Dottie Hearts folder or this Dottie Hearts folder. They're the combo. And I used the same one on the vellum that I used on the Blushing Bride one that came in the kit. So there you go. There are those. Okie dokie. Now let's move on to the next one, which I just flipped over moments ago and seemed to be missing a part. So I may have to hunt for that just a little bit. But this is what came in the kit, and I've already added the Flirty Flamingo ribbon that is in our most recent catalog, and it's Flirty Flamingo 155610, and it has the gold threads through it, so it worked perfectly with this kit. And as I said, I really didn't like the mix of Flirty Flamingo with the Blushing Bride as much as I liked just kind of using them separately. So what I did was, let's see if I can find one more thing I'm looking for. It flipped off the edge here. Let's see if I can find it. May not be able to. Okay. We've got two different ones here. I'm going to kind of show you how I played with this. Here's one selection, and then here's the other, which I was going to show you the sanding on it too. But here's my plan. The kit, I'm going to put this up here. Put that a little out of the way here, trying to get settled. Every time I move my camera, it totally changes where everything is. But you can see I have stamped Love You in Versamark and embossed that in gold, just to save a little time here. And I'm going to use the little sander that we just used. Or maybe not. I cannot believe how hobbits always take over and take stuff away from me. As soon as I put it down, it disappears. So, we won't use the little sander. I'll just let y'all decide. The arrows are so cute that come in the kit, and I wanted to use it, but I was not crazy about the Gray Granite. The arrows came plain also, and I used the timber embossing folder, which is, I'll show you that one. It's right here. It is item number 156406 in the annual catalog timber embossing folder. And that's what gave it that wood grain. You can tell, you can see that on the camera. And I thought that would be fun to give that wood grain to the arrow. Whoop! And it just came apart. It does make it very, it's easy for it to come apart because when it embosses that with the texture folder, it makes those deep ridges, and this is a thin paper, so you do have to be careful. We can fix that, no problem. But what I wanted to show you was that instead of using the Gray Granite, which my idea was to use the arrow like this, right here, you can see that way you stretch your arrow anyway, make it longer if you've got to have a break in it. But I wasn't crazy about the Gray Granite with it. I wanted to stick with the Flirty Flamingo theme. So what I did was I took this arrow, and this is a Gray Granite one, and I just dipped my white side into the Versamark and then embossed it with gold. And that way I have, let's see if we like this one, or do we like this one the best? I think I kind of like the Dottie Hearts one the best. And we do have embellishments we can add to those others also. I swear I can't find that. There's sander. Let's do that real quickly on here so we get those little dots. I love it that these dots coordinate with those dots. I think that's pretty. Hope this isn't too loud on camera here. But there's that. And then I'm actually gonna cut this arrow, I think. I think it could be a little bit longer, but it's fine. We'll just leave it. I'm going to go ahead and glue this down flat. And as I said, you could use either folder, this one or this one. I'm going to choose this one. Got to hold on to my little tail wagging there. Alrighty, just kind of center this with an even border all the way around. There we go. And we'll go ahead and glue this flat, or do we want that up? We might want to pop that up. And oh, this is going to be popped up. So I bet we better not do it double on the inside. I'm going to go ahead and glue that flat. Let's get our little silicone mat so that we don't get this all over everything. So you can see how pretty it is. It makes a big difference when you've used the texture folder on it. But as I said, it makes it, you have to really be careful with it because it can break easily. It just really takes it out of the paper by pressing all that pressure on it. And I like the gold pointed toward the focal point, which is the middle. I like for it to be pointing toward the XOXO. And we're going to pop up with Stampin' Dimensionals the little Love You square. Just going to put a dimensional in each corner. And be careful when you emboss it. I got a little too crazy with my little tool that I was holding this with so I wouldn't burn my hands. And I kind of crunched my corner a little bit. So if you're grabbing it with some kind of tweezers, then be careful with that. Just kind of doing that in the center. But you could do the Love You, you could do Friend, you could do whatever you wanted on this particular one. And then I thought this would be cute. These are the other two hearts that came in the Sweet Talk Sweet. They're different shapes. These two and this one all came in the same kit. So you have 3 different sizes to play with. And I'm just going to, I think I'm going to put the taller one back here, put it flat and pop this one up. And what I recommend is when you're putting this ribbon on, I would just do the ribbon, wrap it around just to here, and glue it on with glue dots strategically because it's not wide enough to use your seal. So I would put glue dots underneath on the front and on the back, like right up by the edge, because it's not, the curvature is not straight. So it's a little, you're not going to get it perfect, or good for you if you do, because I couldn't. But I would recommend, I didn't do it this way. I tied the bow in the ribbon, but it'd be much easier and your bow would be better if you just add the bow on top. Make your bow and add it with a glue dot on top of the ribbon. Okie dokie. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, what did I decide here? I was doing the long one in the back. Yep. Or did I decide that? Either way works. I think we'll do it this way. I'm going to glue this one flat. And again, you don't want to mess around with that glue, liquid glue on getting it on the foil. So just get it, pat it down, let it dry. Go from there. Try not to get glue on the front. And then we'll pop this up with a dimensional. I'm just going to put one in the center. I think that'll hold it up. Just kind of overlapping this. And I have put it where kind of this line goes into the center of that heart, and this line goes into the center of that heart. And to me, all of this is pointing toward the center, toward the XOXO that is there when you open it up. So easy peasy card. There you go. That's the second one. Isn't that fun? Y'all like it? I also had, and that's what I can't find at the moment. I'm going to look one more time. See if it fell into this box by any chance. I had a little heart, gold heart that I'd cut out of the other, out of the Sweet Talk Sweet. And I honestly and truly, it was right here, and then it just flipped off of my paper. But if you did one, we have one that has 5 hearts that I think would be pretty here. I don't know if that's too much or what y'all think. If you'd like to see the 5 hearts, if we finish the other card before my hour's up, I'll try to go cut one of those real quickly. But that would be pretty underneath there. I'll show you the die. See, it would be this size. It has 5 of them like that, but it cuts out like that. I think that would be really pretty and finish that off nicely. So I'll try to have time to do that real quick. Okay, there's that card. See, simple, simple. And it will fit in the envelopes that come in the kit, which is our standard size. But that has the XOXO in the middle. And you just fit it in there, however, just kind of sideways. I think it fits up and down, actually not sideways. And then folds over, and then it'll have has the Flirty Flamingo and the gold. And I would probably stamp a heart on the outside to kind of tie all that in. I'm just not sure if I'm going to use these envelopes this way with these cards, or if I'm going to cut them apart and use the inside, which is what I did for the next. Well, I haven't done it yet, but I plan to. I'll show you one cut up. And see, when you cut the envelope, you have a lot of this gold foil that I think is kind of wasted. I'm not sure anybody sees that on the inside of the envelope. So I'm going to use this on some other cards. But I just wanted to show you that that's how the envelope looks. Whoa, my fingernails are horrible. Sorry about that. There you go. I just cut the flap off. You cut the sides off just barely, so that you have all of this you can use as a background piece on multiple cards. Okay, then I'm going to show you what I ended up doing. And we're going to add a little bit to it. Oh, it seems dark in here. But I really love this, just the gold and the vanilla that was on that set. So I cut apart one of the trifold cards and added this Blackberry Bliss ribbon is retired, but you could do this in a different color background. Say if you had a real red ribbon, which we've got some great real red ribbon right now. That would be pretty if you like more traditional colors with the gold. See, you could do it with that. But you could, whatever color cardstock you liked with this very vanilla, you have 3 pieces, of course, in each trifold. So I've got 2 of these cards because you have 2 halves of the heart. So I like mixing the pattern rather than doing the whole heart on one side of the gatefold. But you could do it however you want it. And then I use the dotty heart background. And you can see here that you don't really get the raised, it doesn't really show through because it's all the same color. So you don't really get the same effect with sanding. If you worked at it quite a bit, you could get a little bit of difference, but I think this is pretty in itself. Sorry, it seems a little dark today. I'll show that to you. And then what I thought would be pretty was to take this gold banner is cut out of that same stamp set and die that I discussed earlier. I'm gonna get this, I think I'm gonna go ahead and glue that down. And I think I'm gonna do it between these 2. I'm gonna take, yep, I'm good to go there. So I'm lining it up there in between those 2 lines. Make a little vertical. Let's let that dry. Then I'm going to go in and snip off this little portion here, kind of round that along with the heart. So it's not sticking out straight. So I lined up this part and then rounded that other. Okay. Then another die out of that set is this vertical heart die that I thought was really cute, that I just took the Blackberry Bliss and Blackberry Bliss cardstock. I'm going to put that on here, onto the gold. And like I said, it'd be better if you knew what you were doing ahead of time, you could. And certainly if you were doing multiples, you'd probably want to put this paper onto some adhesive sheets and cut that out so that you didn't have to worry about the glue getting on the foil. But if you're really sparing with the glue and very careful, you can do this. All right, now my other idea was, we'll see if we still have all of these in here. I hope I do. That I was gonna use some little vanilla hearts that came out. I cut a vanilla one, and all of this flipped. Like I said, it just totally flipped out of my off of my desk, off of my shelf over here earlier, just as I was prepping for the Facebook Live. So we're gonna see if a full mini dimensional is too big or if we can make that work. Take your pick tool would be better than the scissors. Let's see if I can find one of those. Of course, I had one of those 5 minutes ago too. I'm so glad y'all can't see this disc. Oh my goodness. Still looking for one more vanilla heart too. There we go, got that one. Okay, here's my take your pick tool. All right, let's see if I'm gonna have to cut these in half for it not to show. We're trying to get this. Let's see if we can get that backing off of there. And my idea was, I hadn't done this yet, but I thought we would pop these up. Thought that would be pretty inside there. What do you think? Y'all like that? The one on the left, okay. Here we go. We're gonna make this work. You might really want to trim these just a tad, the Stampin' Dimensionals, but we are kind of on a time schedule, so we're gonna try this. So, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, as my friend Amy says. Hopefully it's not hanging out there. I say easy, but it may not look easy for y'all. Y'all may think I'm struggling, but it's really a pretty easy card to do. But see, you could make a lot of these if you decided you didn't want to use the trifold, you wanted to cut these apart, or if you wanted to just make a template of the heart, and then you could use Versamark and make your own backgrounds and then do multiples of these, however many you wanted to do. I'm just trying to show you some options. Just coordinate your ribbon, just stick to these colors, or you could add more colors if you wanted to. What do you think of that? Hold that up a little closer so y'all can see it. You can see the potential that there is with all the items in this kit. If you wanted to just send a few of the others and then add this. This would be cute, I thought, with, you could add one of the little XOXO hearts. I mean, one of the little hearts in with the XOXO. Or you could add some just little gold hearts, kind of scatter these around in there. You've got these two, or we could add that and then put the blackberry hearts. Whoops, we don't have blackberry hearts, I guess. Thought we did. But those may have flipped off onto the floor too. So what do you could add the little blackberry hearts inside of those if you wanted to. Y'all like it just with the XOXO? Or what do you think? Or just some gold hearts, individual gold hearts scattered around. I kind of like that. See what y'all think of that. Or you could put some bling on the inside. You could just put the one heart. You could put two hearts together like that. Normally we do things in threes, but... And then you could stamp a greeting in here. You could do the with love or for you or whatever you wanted to here. I kind of like just the simplicity of the two hearts in there. And then you have plenty of room to write your hubby's name or whoever's name you're sending it to and sign it. Don't have a big note to write. If you wanted to write bigger notes, you could always add a piece of vanilla on one side or both sides and write your little message there. But I think we're just gonna stick these two little hearts down and go from there. Whoops, had a little too much glue there. I think I'm gonna back these up like that. And leave the little two hearts. There we go. And we do have some bling in the kit that I meant to put on the others also, but those are my 3 cards for the day. Hope y'all like the alternatives and some of the ideas that you have. So even if you don't have this kit, maybe you could use some of these ideas. Let's see if we want one of these. We've got 2 sizes of bling. Let's see if we want to do... Nope, don't really like it with the Blackberry Bliss. Okay, I may like it with the other, but I think we'll call that done. I don't think you have to have a greeting on the front in particular, but if you wanted to add one, you could. We don't have many vertical greetings. I wish we had more vertical ones so you could do a banner and have it going up and down. But anyway, this is a pretty simple way. I did pop these up. I just cut the hearts in half and then popped them up with dimensionals. And then wrap your ribbon around, tie your bow before you attach it. And that's all there is to it. There we go, 3 cards in an hour. How about that? Yay! All right, let's look at, do we want to add some bling to these? And we will. Let's see. I think we might want to put one on this heart. Do we? Well, maybe those are all the same size. I thought there were 2 different sizes when I first looked at this. I think we'll just add one to that heart. We could add a couple more over here if we think we want them. You could add, that pretty much takes away a whole heart there if we do that. I don't know that I'm crazy about these in here. Anybody watching have an opinion on that? I'm just not seeing the correct spacing really or something for it. I think I'm going to take that off and just use maybe the one on the heart. What do you think of that? Unless you put, yeah, it just doesn't quite fit in there as much. All right, let's try over here, see what we think. Might be a little easier. This Take Your Pick tool is so easy to work with. It's great with that little putty on one end. It really helps you with the sequins that are already, that have a backing on them. I think we could put maybe a couple on here inside of these hearts. Maybe we put it on the side and not in the middle. We might put this one on the left. Then we've got three blings on the front. And those are my alternatives for the Hugs and Kisses, or Kisses and Hugs January Paper Pumpkin Kit. I really appreciate y'all tuning in. Thank you very much for that. I do appreciate it a lot. And I'm gonna, let's leave this one together, unhook that one. We'll let y'all see them all again. This would be with this. Kind of hard to get everything on there, isn't it? We'll move this out of the way. See if we can get the 2 or 3 open. We'll open this one. Keep that one closed. There we go. Can we get them all in the screen? And this little heart. One here. Thanks again for tuning in. It really is fun to play with these. If you're thinking about getting interested in paper crafting, Paper Pumpkin is a great way to go because it is a good way to build up your stash of different ink colors and stamp sets that have greetings you can use time after time. And then once you build up your supply and you have extra cardstocks and all of that you can use to make alternatives, that's a great way to go too. All right, I'm going to turn the camera around again and let y'all know, please go to my blog at createwithkelley.com to subscribe. And I'm going to try to get better at blogging more often. It's just hard to figure out what's the most important thing to do and how to schedule everything. So I hope you'll go and subscribe and be patient with me as I work on newsletters and put PDF tutorials on and all. But you can watch these replays anytime, and please share and let everybody you know who's crafty know about me. I would love for you to purchase the products from me from my online store that you'll find at createwithkelley.com. Let me go ahead and switch the camera around. We'll see if it responded to my fingers or not, or if I'm going to have to do that again. Yes, it did this time. Yay. We'll back it up a little bit. Whoops, wrong way. Okay, I'm going to hold the cards up from this time. And we will say goodbye. Thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate your comments, Eileen. It was great to have you on board. Let's see how many I have here. Let's open this one up so we can kind of see a little better. Yay. Okay, thanks again for tuning in for the January 2022 Paper Pumpkin Alternatives. I hope you'll subscribe with me as a Paper Pumpkin subscriber. You can find all the information you need on my blog at createwithkelley.com. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to help. If you need a catalog, if you don't have a demonstrator, I'm happy to send you one. Just contact me through Kelley at createwithkelley.com. Just always spell the K-E-L-L-E-Y with the E on the end. Not on the end, but 2 E's. Also, my YouTube channel is new. Would love for you to check that out and subscribe. And it is Create with Kelley Pitts. Has the last name on there also. So thanks again for tuning in. Y'all have a great day and watch out for classes to come this month. Fun times ahead. Thanks. Bye-bye. I'm glad you love them, Eileen. Thanks. Bye.